Hello everybody, Game Cooker US Rocks VR here. Back on some Hunter Primal, which it seems like usually Friday is when I get around to it. I apologize for, not really doing much this week video-wise. I mean, I know I'm not very consistent anyway. But I was, I dealt with a pretty nasty migraine yesterday, and then I was kind of struggling with a lot of head pressure the previous days before that, so, I was only able to really squeeze in those Resident Evil Village demo videos this week, which I'm glad I got done since the demo's only good for so long. So anyway, hope you guys are all okay. Feel free to join the server, it's open. So just hop in. I think I got it up to 8 spots or something, so I think there's like 6 spots left. So, I guess you've seen the title of my video today. The United Dystopian States of America. We are heading into that dystopian time period. Again, I don't think that it seems like the powers that be, and there are powers that be, the Bible talks about powers in high places, but of course it's talking from a more spiritual standpoint because, the battle that's raging right now in the world is not human against human, right? It's God and Satan, battling over the minds of human beings, Who are you going to give your allegiance to? Man or God? So the dystopian world, of course, that's coming from a, obviously, certainly not a godly direction. Because despite what people believe, God is, even though God wants us to be, better people based on, His word or whatever, He gives us the freedom to make a choice, of whether we want to follow Him or not. So, in the dystopian world, you don't have those freedoms. And that's always been a tactic of the devil, is to, move people by force, right? Move people to make decisions by force. What's up, Santiago? Well, you can't. You gotta get a good save file. I have one on my Discord channel somewhere. I think I was supposed to try to link it again. I think I did, though. but I might have forgot. You have to have an uncorrupted save file in order for it to work. Oh, really? Oh, we got dead trike everywhere. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Nobody wants to die, huh? Ooh, who's that? Is that, oh, there's OJ. So back to what I was saying. You know, Satan always, forces people to worship him by force, right? All through history. You know, either through, um, well, predominantly through persecution. You know, that's the primary way that he gets people to worship him. And it's satanic worship is not necessarily something direct like, oh, I worship the devil. You know what I mean? It's through systems, right? You know, like the papacy when they ruled during the Dark Ages. You know, they were not ruling from the Word of God. They were ruling from the traditions of the church, which were adopted from pagan religions. So, you know, they set up the papal system, you know, in Europe and, you know, other parts as well whenever they decided they wanted to, you know, do their crusades. You know, so God, on the other hand, he always allows people to make a free choice, you know, because he wants people to worship him out of love, not force. And you can't force love, you know, through, you know, you can't make somebody love you. You know, it has to be a choice, you know, just like in any relationship, you know. Now, there's some people that act like they love you, you know, like if you're taking care of them or giving them stuff. You know, there's a lot of, you know, infatuation. Which, of course, is interpreted sometimes as love. You know, dependency is, you know. But when it all comes down to it, you know, if you want to put your life on the line for somebody, you know, that's really going to show your true colors. You know, in the world that we live in today, you know, especially in Europe, and what the United States is heading towards, you know, we're living in a dystopian era where, you know, you can be censored, you know, the FBI and other government agencies are used as weapons against you, the IRS. um, they can cut off your bank account, stop your food stamps, stop your medical coverage. You know, you could lose your job. You know, that's certainly something that's been happening that the media never talks about much, you know, because they're the ones who are saying it's okay to persecute, you know, if you don't think like them. So they're basically, you know, the strong arm of the devil, you know. Which right now, you know, we see it as the Democrat or left, you know, left side of things. Although, you know, the Republicans in America especially haven't shown much, you know, much sacrifice in fighting for the rights of Americans either. You know, they just kind of been sitting back and not doing a whole lot because their argument is, well, we don't want to force people to do things. Well, you have to. If there's people getting their rights taken away, then you have to defend that, you know. Sometimes you have to roll things back. Not just let these crazy policies keep getting implemented. Even encouraged, you know. And it's just funny, the hypocrisy, because, you know, like, people are arguing about, like, say, for instance, keeping, you know, President Trump off of social media because they're afraid that whatever he says is going to cause somebody to do something, you know, dangerous or irrational, you know, which is kind of stupid because he never said anything. He never said anything ever that directly told anyone to harm anyone else. So it's just, that's just like, you know, pretty crazy that people are buying into that all the time. It just shows the ignorance of humanity, you know, and how easily they are, you know, deceived. But it's not just happening to Donald Trump. I mean, it's happening to thousands of Americans now, you know. They're, you know, doing a lot of censoring and cutting people off. And I'm talking about Donald Trump because he's an American citizen, you know, and he's being targeted, you know. It's not because I love Donald Trump or anything like that. I would say the same thing for anyone. He just happens to be, you know, popular in the news, so to speak, you know. So that's why I'm bringing him up. He seems to be the biggest scapegoat here. He just keeps moving. Give me time to focus, man. You know, but like I was saying before, people want to give up their freedom for, well, I don't even think people know what freedom is anymore. You know? I mean, freedom is freedom. Freedom where you can do as you please, you know? Without, you know, obviously without physically harming somebody, you know, because there has to be a line drawn somewhere, you know? But freedom to do as you please, you know, freedom to roam where you want to roam, freedom to own property, freedom to travel, freedom to own guns, you know, freedom to start a business and charge whatever you want for your product. I mean, that's freedom. And for some reason, people think that today freedom means paying super high taxes. It means national health care. It means, uh, food stamps, all these things. And I'm not saying that there isn't a place for certain people to be covered under their health care, or certain people to be covered under, say food stamps or something like that. Although I'm a big advocate of, creating jobs, not welfare. That's what, welfare was sold as something that was like, you know, a a boost, you know, to kind of keep you stable until you were able to go out, get education, get on your own 2 feet, but it's turned into something, but it was really all planned to, be like a weight that is just tied around somebody's ankle, where they were never to ever get above water. It just constantly drowns you. Like right now we have a shortage of there's a hiring problem now in the United States. I mean, you would think with all the media talking about, oh, how bad everything is in America, which it's not, unless, if you're talking about riots and stuff, well, yeah, that's bad, but that's not regular people creating that. That's just people causing trouble. But right now, there's so many jobs available that businesses can't find people to hire. And the reason for that is because the people that were on unemployment, for instance, from, the ones who got laid off during the pandemic or whatever, they were getting their normal unemployment, right? Which is fine. I'm all for unemployment insurance. That's cool, you know. But, again, that's supposed to be something that's just supposed to be temporary till you find another job, right? So they give you the normal unemployment, which whatever it is, I don't know what the maximum is now, but let's just say it's 500, right? The maximum. Like if you were making a pretty decent amount of money, your maximum will be 500, say. That's just an example, you know. So, in the stimulus plan from last year and this year, they tacked on money to that unemployment, which really was like there was no justification for that at all. Like none, zero. Like why would you do that? I mean, at the very least, all you would say, okay, we're just gonna, you know, give everyone the maximum, right? Which is, I guess, fine. It's still there's still no justification for that because, if you were living off of like say 250 a week or whatever it is, 200 a week, then that's what you should get. So of course you always got a percentage like 60% or something. But fine if they wanted to put it up to the 500 because of the forced shutdowns, which again were not justified medically or scientifically, but they did it anyway. They ended up tacking on, say an extra 500 onto the unemployment. So somebody who would be normally getting 500 every 2 weeks or every week or whatever it is, they're now getting 1,000. that's like that's like wow, you know what I mean? So if somebody's on unemployment, right, and you know say normally they would be laid off and then they would go back to work after 3 or 4 months, Let's just say this was something that was kind of like a rotational thing. I mean, you know where I'm going with this anyway. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Why would you want to go back to work and make, say, your $200 a week when you're getting, say, $700 a week in unemployment? You know what I'm saying? So why would you want to do that? So these people are just extending their unemployment for another 6 months or however long they approved it till, right? And people don't want to go back to work. They just want to stay home. So here you have a situation where there's no justification for keeping people unemployed, right? Because right now there's a hiring shortage. They don't have enough people applying for jobs that are open now. So there's a lot of businesses that have short-handed staff. They're short-handed. So, there was no reason to extend it. Again, if you want to justify it for last year, since everything was closed anyway, fine. But there was no reason to do that again at the taxpayer's expense. You see? So, again, these are just bad policies that create situations, and unfortunately, people are weak, right? This is the mindset, unfortunately, of people, because of college education, because of the media. These people feel like, the world owes them something. So they're just going to suck off the system because they can, And in one sense, realistically, I can understand that, right? The temptation is so great because people are weak. You know what I mean? They don't have a good spiritual life. They don't have religion. Everything to them is just, live for today and die tomorrow. Like, that's all they have to look forward to. So, I can certainly understand that. And some people don't have self-control. And then some people are just like, well, the money's there, so why not take advantage of it? So, yeah, I'm certainly not looking past the I'm not being unrealistic in my expectations for human beings. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is the problem, though, right? In every facet of our society, we don't have a problem with racism, okay? We have a problem with societal structure. We have a problem with bad policies, which again are implemented or at least encouraged and or implemented by Democrats. The policies are there to prey upon the weaknesses of others. And when I say weaknesses, I'm not talking about a race or even a culture, okay? Because we're all human beings, and that's how I see everybody. I don't care what color you are. We're all human beings. We all have a brain that we can think with. So one race is not lesser than another race, okay? So everyone can make a choice. And, if we keep making these choices, which we have been, okay, unfortunately, with implementing these bad policies, these policies that only keep people down, right, that only keep people under the water, that never bring people above water, right? They want to keep them in a position where it's very difficult for them to move out of, and this is why the Democrats are always pushing let the government take care of you, because the government's always going to give you the minimum, right? Always going to give you the minimum. You know, like these stimulus things, all these are just like the candy being held out to the child, you know? Come on, come over here, come in the car, you know, or whatever. Come behind in this alleyway, you know, come over here. You know, and then when you get in the alleyway, when you get into the car, the candy is no longer there for you anymore because they got you, right? They got you. And unfortunately, this is the state of not only America now, but it's obviously the state in Europe, you know? Like I was listening to a video, right, about this guy talking about electric cars, okay? Now we all know that the left is bashing on Elon Musk now because, you know, he's a businessman, right? He just wants to run his business and run it the way he wants to run it, and he wants to make the products he wants to make, you know? And, you know, so he says a few things that are not in line with the Communist Manifesto, you know? And they're all on his case, on his back for it, you know? Because he believes in free enterprise, you know, all that stuff. So, but anyway, so this guy was talking about electric cars, and I think I already brought this up before, and how there were certain countries in Europe were given incentives, you know, for people to buy electric cars, right? They were getting some kind of tax credit, so to speak. And in some countries, the tax credit's about to end, so people have to pay full price for the electric cars. Right? And of course, these countries, a lot of these countries, they have the free health care, or, you know, the national health care, because it's not free, you know, where they pay, you know, 50%, you know, in income tax, you know, 50%. That's quite ridiculous. And, you know, this guy, he says, even with the tax credits in these countries where they have the national health care and maybe free education, people still don't have enough money to buy the electric cars, even with the tax credit. So the first thing, these people were duped into paying 50% income tax in order to get national health care, which is already known to not be better than private health care. In fact, it's worse than private health care. Okay, that's already been proven. If you go to reputable sources that are not, you know, media propaganda from the left, you know, you will see real statistics showing that national health care in a lot of cases is worse than you paying for it yourself. But anyway. Hey, Kohaku. How you doing? Nice seeing you. But this guy, he was talking about the electric cars, and that was one surprising thing I heard, is that the people can't afford an electric car because they're paying so much in taxes. Because you don't have just the healthcare tax, you have the VAC tax, which is like if you go out and buy a television, you have to pay 25% sales tax. And on the vehicle, which is ridiculous. Right? So if you buy the electric car, you got to pay 25% VAC tax on that too. You know? So, my goodness. And then this guy, he has the nerve to say, you know, or not even nerve, it's just it's an ignorant, I mean, it shows the ignorance, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying the guy's dumb or he's not educated, but just how they've brainwashed people. He was like saying, oh, but we're willing to make the sacrifice, you know, in paying high taxes and all this other stuff for the sake of you know, the climate. And I'm going, sacrifice. It's like I don't like this guy doesn't even know what a sacrifice is. It's like paying 50% tax to the government is not a sacrifice. That's just stupid. That's very dumb. That's not helping climate change at all. That's you just saying, here, government, here's half my money. You manage it. You tell me how I'm supposed to use it. You know, that's like somebody giving me half their income and saying, here, you do what you want with it. Spend it how you need to, and just make sure that I have my health insurance and, my subpar health insurance. And then when I buy anything expensive like a car or a fancy TV, then I'll give you 25% more of that, you know? So it's like my mind just blew up when I heard this young man. I'm assuming he was in his 20s or 30s. You know, he thinks that he's helping the environment. Like this is what they've been brainwashed to think. Because it's all tied together, right? The healthcare, the climate change, all that stuff. It's all tied into them saying, we need your pay higher taxes. We need to control you. I mean, that's what it comes down to. No matter how you look at it, just look at every single thing. And it always comes back to you giving your freedom up. So this is why they have so many different sections that they're attacking, right? They're this group over here, they're getting crazy about climate change. This group over here, they're getting crazy about national health care. This group over here, they're getting crazy about, welfare. Over here, they're getting people crazy about race. Over here, they're getting people crazy about women. Over here, they're getting people crazy about, alternative lifestyle individuals, you know. I mean, it's a grand tactic. I'm not saying it's not genius. I mean, but this is what they did in the Dark Ages, when the papacy ruled. I mean, we're just heading into another Dark Ages, basically, where people have very limited freedom. They think they have freedom of speech and all that, but I mean, if you're censored, if you can lose your job just for saying something or whatever, I mean, paying high taxes. We're heading into that dystopian future that we've all seen in the movies and read in the books. And everybody's just like bowing to it. Yes, please. We worship the dystopian future. Give it to us. I'm just saying. I mean, I gotta live in it. So, I mean, what can I do? Except for talk. But it doesn't seem like people are gonna fight it. Like even people don't want to speak against it. They're worried about, how they look, or if they're going to be kicked off social media or lose their job, get censored, be called names. I mean, it's just, ridiculous. But it just shows you human nature. I mean, that we're inherently weak creatures, We fall into the trap of, I don't know, lazy thinking. We just get spoon-fed and accept it. I was watching some videos on YouTube about people talking about this and that, and who were coming from the communist mindset thinking, although they don't call it that. They call it social, this or social that, social reform, whatever. They just like putting the name social in front of it, and that somehow gives it some kind of special meaning. But it's really just it's just really communist thinking. Where'd that thing go? Whoop. But this guy, man, he was talking on there, and like he was talking about, you know, people working and jobs and all this other stuff, and how a businessman takes advantage of his workers. And I was like, man, what a bunch of nonsense. Of course he didn't call it that. In fact, the title of the video actually caused you to believe that he was going to talk about the exact opposite. You know, of how the free market, you know, would actually be a better advantage, right? But he ended up going in the opposite. He saying the exact opposite of how business person, quote unquote, a rich person, takes advantage of his workers, you know, and how the workers always get screwed, you know, when they have a job. I mean, that's basically, in a nutshell, what he was conveying to the people who were listening in the audience, because he was doing some kind of lecture at a college. And the way that he was presenting it was in such a way where it was made, okay, made to get you angry. Because when I was watching it, I was like, man, the people in the audience must really be getting angry, you know? Not angry at him, but angry at the rich person. Angry at the person that creates the jobs for other people. The person who invests their money to start a business to make money, which gives people jobs. That's what he was doing. He was causing the audience to get angry about something that benefits them. And this is the approach that they take all the time. They take something that's good, right, and twist it into being something that's perceived to be very bad. Okay? And he left out a lot of information. He left out a lot of facts that would actually debunk what he was actually teaching. Right? But that's the convenience of it. That's the meaningful approach. Or I should say, not meaningful, the purposeful approach. Okay? It's to only tell your audience what you want them to hear. Right? To spark a reaction. Right? And if you can spark the reaction, that you know, the goal, the reaction that you want, then you can manipulate the mind. And this is exactly what this guy was doing. He was getting the people angry so that now they can be indoctrinated with an ideology that actually will work against them. Because they were convinced that the right thing, the good thing, was the bad thing. So then when you teach them the bad thing, which would be the opposite, that now becomes the good thing. Now you might say I'm crazy, but read the book Art of War. Okay, it's a fictional book. Didn't really happen. Okay, and a lot of people don't know that. Okay, but read it. It's a tactical book written by a Jesuit priest. Okay, who was there to fight against the Protestant Reformation. Okay, and a long time ago, the Jesuits also made a decision to take over the colleges and all this other stuff. Okay, that's a whole different story. I told you guys to watch that, you know, series. It's a 36-part series, and you should watch it. Called Total Onslaught by Walter Veith. Yes, it does have religious stuff in it, but if you watch the whole thing, you'll see the big picture. You know, and it's all taken from literature and historical events and from the horse's mouth. You know, in most, if not all, the stuff that's mentioned. So this is a direct tactic that's been going on now since the Protestant Reformation became strong and the Catholic Church wanted to fight against it. This is where it all stems from, this whole, you know, get back to control. Everybody was like crying about religion back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. But yet they're holding on to an ideology that's worse. Because, you know, at least with the Christian religion, you have freedom, right? You have a freedom to choose or not to choose. But when you put a ideology, a worldly ideology in place, there is no freedom. There is never any freedom. Because it's all about control. I think it's too late. Too late for people to wake up. I don't know. I think we're pretty much done. You know? We're heading into a very dark period. Again, there's millions out there who think that we're going into a very bright and positive future. But when your freedoms are taken away, how can that be good? How can that be positive? And you can't use the argument, oh, it's going to save lives, or we're trying to save the planet. Like, really? I mean, come on. Just think about it. Keeping people in poverty probably kills more people than if climate change doomsday were ever to happen. Which, there's no proof that that ever will. Okay, climate change doomsday. Okay, I'm not talking about just simple climate change. You know, keeping people in poverty, not taking care of the mentally ill, encouraging people to do drugs. How is that saving lives? You know, that will kill so many more people. You let people take their own responsibility. You know? Plus, my idea was this, and I mentioned this before. If climate change is such a big frickin' deal, which it isn't, but you know, that's what scientists are preaching out there. You have, say, half the population who believes in it, climate change, doomsday, or whatever, that climate change is some kind of an issue. And then you have half the population that doesn't. Well, why don't you just say, anybody who believes in climate change, we're going to help you get an electric car, which is actually bad for the environment, but I'm not going to go into that. And we'll help you buy solar panels at your house. So that way you have half the population that's jumping on board to reduce the evil carbon emissions, right, that are good for the planet, right? But yet we've been duped into thinking that somehow CO2 is this evil gas. There's another example, right? CO2, good for the environment, good for the nature, right? Good for food production. Good for increasing the temperature on the planet a little, which there's nothing wrong with that. It'll probably produce more rain, which is good for desert areas. It'll make crops grow better, which is good for everybody. But we've been taught now that CO2 is a bad gas, that it's dangerous for the planet. So there's another example of taking something that's good, demonizing it, and then you teach somebody an ideology that's actually bad for you, that takes away from you, that hurts you, that cuts down your freedom, and you look at it as something good, or you feel like you're doing something good. Because now you're fighting against this good thing that's been demonized. Oh yeah, let me check the let's see if we can find that Rex. But anyway, back to my idea. So what you would do is take 1/2 the population, get them to quote unquote live their life, right? Reducing their carbon emissions, right? Not fight against it, but reduce it, right? So you have 1/2 that's doing that and the other half just living like they normally would live. That would offset any increase in carbon emissions. Problem solved. You have 0 carbon emission increase. And it doesn't have to be exact 50-50. It could probably be like 30-60, 39, 30-70, excuse me. And it would still probably have a significant impact. But the problem is that that's not really the problem, you know? Because again, it's not about saving the planet. It's about control. Getting you to do what they want you to do. And this all does have a spiritual aspect to it, you know. It's going to come down to Sunday, you know. Again, that sounds crazy, I know, but if you knew the Bible, then you would know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, because the Sabbath has always been the contesting point all throughout Bible history. Because the Sabbath, when you keep the Sabbath, you're representing who your God is. You're acknowledging who the Creator is, who your God is, right? Who your Savior is, right? Because God created the 7th day as a totally separate day from the other 6, right? So it's not even like attached to the other 6. It was created extra for people to remember them. So we're going to come back to that Sunday law again, you know, because that's not the true Sabbath. You know, it's always come down to God's law, you know. So they're going to try to implement some kind of a Sunday something. It probably won't. Ooh, I'm going to be dead here. It isn't going to be called like, you know, whatever, National Day of Worship, because of course it can't be that obvious. Now to Catholics and other people who don't know about the Sabbath, the true Sabbath, or at least they've been told that Sunday's the Sabbath, but it's not. Again, they demonize the 7th day to get people to uplift the Sunday. So this is what they did with that too. So it's not just a secular thing, it's also religious as well. So they'll probably call it like the Pope recently said, let's have a climate Sunday where nobody works, nobody travels, or whatever the case is. All the stores are closed, you know, and that will cut down carbon emissions. Watch that series, Total Onslaught. I'll put it in here. Again. Check it out. Don't be afraid. It's long, but it's definitely worth watching. Even if you're just curious. I mean, you'll learn something from it. Okay? You'll at least learn how we got here today. You know? So don't cheat yourself out of that information. And keep in mind that that series was put out in 2004, I think. And when you watch through it, you'll be like, man, this guy Walter Veith he was right on the money with like most things. You know, he wasn't perfect with everything, but obviously because you can only foresee so much. You know, you can't know exactly how things are going to work out, you know, in every little small detail, but the majority of what he was talking about, he was pointing to exactly where we are today. You'll be like, wow, that's crazy. I was recently watching The Sopranos as well because I have never watched it through. And believe it or not, that show, which started out in the 90s, actually gave us some foresight. You know, it even, well, I guess you could say it exposed in some way, shape, or form this whole woke movement. You know, this whole social justice thing. Because in The Sopranos, they were talking about a lot of things that we see now that are being, you know, obviously done in much greater sense. And the media, of course, is, you know, just exasperating that whole thing, you know, cutting off this side, you know, their beliefs and only showing one side, you know. But yeah, The Sopranos, wow, that really gave a lot of clues as to what was coming. And I'm sure when people were watching it at the time, it just went right over their head, you know. It would have went right over my head, you know, because I would never have thought that, you know, any of this stuff would have taken hold, to be honest with you. But I didn't really understand how powerful the media was going to be in, you know, catapulting this kind of social justice mentality, nor did I realize how pervasive it was in the colleges. I mean, I went to college, but I went to community college, so I guess I saw a little tiny bit of it there, but it wasn't really like in your face, so it was like, you know, it wasn't really like something that was really of great concern. But yeah, watch The Sopranos, and you'll as the series goes on, you'll see more and more and more wokeness being kind of thrown in there as the series advanced, you know. And of course, it's a pretty vulgar show, so you know, be warned. It's not family friendly. Ooh, my God, really? I got two here. Yikes! Wow. I think they're both coming. Can I make it to the hole? Let's see if I can make it over here. Yeah, I can make it over here. So I guess that's why that show Sopranos got such a good ratings, because the you know, it was conveying that kind of woke mentality in it. And of course it was demonizing a lot of people who are just people, you know. How many arrows I got? Ooh, I got some arrows. Where's, oh, here it is. I mean, obviously the show is about the mob, or whatever, the late mob, you know, what was left over of it, I guess you could say. Right in the back of the head. Hello. Got her. 3 shots. Better hurry. I get it. No. 4 shots. Nice. Hello. Did I get her? I don't know. That's a guy. That's a male. Nice. Beautiful. So who do we got in here? Anybody? Nobody. So we're heading into a kind of another modern day Dark Ages, where media controls everything, corporations control everything. And you know, it's really funny, isn't it, that it comes from the liberal side. You know, because in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the liberals were crying about, oh, we need our freedoms, we need to be our own individuals, you know, all this stuff. You know, we should be able to say what we want to say and live the way we want to live. Isn't that something? The champions of freedom. And here we are today. They do the exact opposite. Crazy, man. That's why only the people who are older will really understand. And this is why most older people, you know, are more conservative, because they know. Because they've seen what happened to cities under Democrats. You know, they've seen what it was like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Really what it was, what the liberals were teaching then versus what they teach now. You know, they've seen how their politicians, you know, have made bad policies over the years. You know, that were always worded, right? They always called these bad policies, and they were bad. Good names, you know, like they continue to do today. You know, like they'll call like something the U.S. CARE Act. You know, they just give it names that sound so soft and cuddly and caring. But they'll be the worst policies ever. And then they'll blame the Republicans for the outcome. That's so crazy. Stupid. You know, I kind of knew this was coming, but I never thought it was going to be in my lifetime. To be honest. I thought I'd be long dead before this dystopian pseudo-religious rule was going to come. And it is a religious rule. It's not a secular rule. It's just covered that. It's just kind of got that blanket over it. But it's really a religious rule. You know? Because again, it goes back to the same old thing. Satan wants to rule people by force. Right? By law. By regulation. And the papacy back in the Dark Ages, they always wanted to get their power back. And they've always said that in their literature. It's not a secret. Just people don't think about God anymore, so they're blind to the history. You know, they're blind to the literature that's telling them what's happening. That's why check out that Total Onslaught, I'm telling you. It's going to open up your eyes. Well, I was hoping some people were going to get on, but I guess I came on too early. How many wrecks did I get so far? 3? Maybe I'll head over to Arthur's. See if I can get a couple over there. Yep, he saw me. I was gonna wait for him to pass. Come on. I wonder if I can get him by spine. think he died. I think I seen him fall. Yeah, so I put on my Discord if anybody wants to play that game State of Decay 2. I don't know if it's like cross-platform on Steam or not. I have it on Xbox Game Pass, which you know, I mean, if you like playing games a lot, it's definitely worth getting, I think, if you want like to get a game subscription service, because you can use it on your Xbox console and PC. So I kind of subscribed through the PC, like from the Xbox app. But if I log into it on my Xbox console, I believe that I can play the games on there as well. So it's definitely good in that respect. And they have a lot of good games on there, you know? A lot of AAA games. And of course they have a lot of like, whatever, indie games and lesser games, AA games. So, I mean, if you got like a... if you're stuck with like playing on a laptop or, excuse me, a low spec PC, you know, they do have a lot of games you could probably play on those systems as well. That's a big egg. See if I can get a picture. Guess I gotta get closer. I don't want the game to crash. Please don't crash. Huh. So F2 now gives you full screen. It didn't do that before, did it? I thought the F2 gave you the photo mode or something. That's interesting. So yeah, anyway, State of Decay 2, if any of you guys are interested in playing that with me, just send me a message on either on comment on this video, or, you know, send me a message through Steam, or you know, you can add me as a friend on Xbox, but you have to let me know who you are, because I've had quite a few people send me friend invites on the Xbox, and I don't know who they are. And also Epic. No, not Xbox, it was Epic. Anyway, if you send me an invite on Xbox, which I probably have to give you, I probably would have to give you my, well, anyway, we could always, we're going to chat through Steam if we do voice anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You just have to let me know if you want to play, that's all. Because I would like to play that game. I mean, you can play it single player, but everyone's told me that, you know, it's really better to play on co-op, so. And I probably would agree, just not even knowing, not even playing the game ever. I probably would be bored just playing by myself. So please, I would like to play State of Decay 2. We can live stream it, you know? Or if you guys think I should just start playing it, just so you guys can see what it's like. Although I'm sure there's like a million videos already online you could do that with. But I am a more casual player, so I don't rush through usually. I like to explore, you know. With my migraines, you know, my brain is not as well, I'm not gonna say I'm stupid, but it just takes a little longer for me to like things to register. Let me put it that way. So especially when, you know, I'm learning a new game and the mechanics and the abilities or whatever and all that stuff. The migraines, they really do like mess up my brain quite a bit. Oh. I am grateful for the medicine I have now. I mean, the injection. I have to take an injection once a month. And that's been helping a lot. It doesn't take away the migraines 100%, but it definitely cut them down like big time. I mean, they will still trigger though if I do certain things. So, but before I could do absolutely nothing and I'd just get them. So that was pretty horrible. And the medicine cost $600 a dose. I mean, that is so crazy. $600 for one dose. I mean, is that insane or what? That's why I don't understand, man. People didn't vote for Trump last year because of all the dumb talk on social media, but ooh, another Rex, small one. Huh. I was right. You know, Trump was trying to get something passed so that we could get cheaper prescription prices. Because, you know, in America we pay some of the highest prescription costs. And that is because of, you know, people taking advantage of the system we have here. Because Trump found out that there was, you know, these middle people that were getting a gigantic cut, you know, of the $600 per se, you know, and that's why it's so expensive. It's not just a matter of, you know, patent, which is, you know, of course what they would want to get us to believe, that, oh yeah, they did all the research and they need their money back. And I'm all for that. You know, if you do research, you invent something or find something out, then you should be getting repaid for that, you know, over time. You know, that should be something you should get reimbursed for. But that's not the reason. That's what the liberals would want you to believe. that these drug companies are just raking in the cash, charging the high prices, but it's actually the middle vendors who are jacking up the prices. And like this is again something Trump uncovered that we never knew about, or at least I would say most Americans didn't know about. So now Joe Biden and the liberals are saying, "Oh, we want to reduce cost of drugs and blah 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 blah." Exactly what Trump was trying to do. But yet he was voted out of office. So here's another example of them whining and crying about something, but because Trump was doing something about it, they're like saying, "Oh, we can't vote for him because he's Trump." You know, just like when he was giving money to the black communities and minority communities and traditional black colleges, and he, you know, all these things that he was doing help the poor communities and, you know, these traditional black colleges who before only used to get a little bit of money at a time, but here Trump was guaranteeing them some money. You know, there's the Rex there. So again, that's why this whole social justice thing, it's just a big fake. You know, it's just a big fake. Because Trump was doing many different things to help many different groups. But yet it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. Instead, they chose to do extreme lockdowns and kill business and kill jobs. But yet at the same time, whine and cry about jobs and wages and all this stuff. But yet they worked against it. Again, demonize something so that you can accept something that is not good for you. Whoa. There's two wrecks. Yikes. He's like right there. Alright, I'm in trouble here. So I think there was two wrecks over here. I don't think that's the same one. You still there, Kohaku? Or no? Probably not. It's a long time. I'm sorry, I should have talked to you. I'm just on my spiel, so... Ugh, this is not good. Not good at all. I think I'll make it, but just in case. Nope. Crap. Just be calm. That's all you gotta remember. Stay calm. So back to the dystopian future. So what else can we say? Our information is monitored. Everything is recorded, you know, what we say, what we do. And that information can be used against us, even if it's used against us unjustifiably. You know, the cops are being demonized so that crime starts running rampant, right? Because that's what this is about, scaring people. Again, that fear thing, whoa. The fear factor, right? If you don't have the police protecting you, then you're going to be afraid to speak up. You're going to be afraid to fight against things in your neighborhood. You know? Which people were already anyway in the inner cities. They were already like run by, what do you call it? You know, already gangs were controlling things anyway and intimidating people to vote certain ways. We also have GPS, right? So they can tell exactly where you are. So you never really have like autonomy or privacy. This guy don't want to die, huh? I think he's hurt, yeah. That's why it was just he was just walking up to me without really doing anything. Okay. Let's check out that other Rex over here. I think there was a second one. So I don't know. I think we ought to all go out and apply for hunting licenses, right? So we can at least have a gun in our house. For our own protection. Although I don't know if they have different rules, you know, for like... I guess it depends on the state, I guess. Like New Jersey is pretty, you know, pretty strict about guns. Although there was several counties here that made themselves, what do you call it? Second Amendment sanctuary counties, which was kind of surprising, especially in New Jersey, you know. I mean, you can own a gun here. It's just, you know, you got to jump through hoops. You got to do background check and all that stuff. They don't make it very easy. I mean, I guess if you apply for a hunting license, I'm not sure like if it's a different process for owning a gun or not, but I would think in New Jersey it's probably the same. Probably have to do a background check and whatnot. I heard something. I don't know if that was a T-Rex or not. Yep, it is. I was correct. I did hear a T-Rex. Well, I guess I should I guess I should bring it down here. Let me. Oh, he's real close. Very close. Okay, that got his attention. Definitely got its attention. Ooh, I'm out of, yikes. I'm out of stamina. Ooh, there's two. Look at that. Whoa. Okay. This is not going to turn out very good, I don't think. Nope. I wonder if I can get on this log. I don't think I can get up on this log. Nope. Alrighty then. This one's freaking out over here. She's in frenzy mode. Whoa! It surprised me. I thought it was gonna stop. Yee! Okay. This one's still going crazy. Guys are really oh my god. Time to go. It's gotta be hurt. Got it. Whew. Nice. Too many shots. Where'd this other one go? Gotta get it. Wonder if it died. Make some noise. Seems like there's a lot of echo in the... I think this is probably the old one. Let's see. Let's see if it died. See a body somewhere? I do not. That's why I hate the stamina. I wish the stamina only kicked in when you started fighting. That would make more sense. Yeah, this is an old one, I think, here. Pretty sure about that. Yeah. Because it hasn't been that long, but I'll see where it goes anyway. I don't think it's over here. I thought it ran over the mountain, actually. See, it's roaming, so I don't think this is it, but... We'll try it anyway. Guess it's less than an hour, so maybe. I don't think the minutes are correct, though. I think that's probably off. Because it hasn't been 40 minutes since it ran all the way. There you go. What's this? Okay. Huh. 90 to 99%? Something ain't right there. There we go. Now it's starting to bleed. I think because it went into frenzy mode, it didn't register the blood. So what do you guys think about Call of the Wild with the dog? There you go. I mean, it was interesting. Whoops. That worked. This is how I used to play. I used to get on top of the trike and lie down on the trike. I don't know if this is a new one or not. Let's see. Yeah, that might be a... I don't know if that's the same one or not. Oh yeah, it might be. A wobble. Too much wobble. Yeah, he does have arrows. That is the one that ran away. He's gonna die. Definitely gonna die. butchered. What do we got now? 6 T-Rex in under 2 hours. Not too bad, not too bad. Ugh. Oh, another one. Really? Hmm. Get the lucky 7. That's quite a small one. This is probably the uncommon. The one with the stripe. Spiral. That's my guess. Nice. That's a good hunt, Alvin. You were at the right place at the right time. Or I should say the right places at the right times. Alrighty, where'd this guy go? Yeah, I'm kind of doing a lot of talking, so, you know. When I do talking, I'm kind of wasting a little bit of time because I'm not really focused. So this guy's probably going to run eventually. Let's see. Unless I'm close. These guys usually run away if they're the uncommon. This will probably be my last kill. Wow, that took quite a turn. Fleeing, there you go. There it is. That's what I wanted. Should have kept tracking it. Because it probably is running away. Yeah, I think I lost it. Crap. Running? Roaming. Yeah, I'm probably going to be getting off after I find this Rex, unless Bill kills it. Because if it's going that way, it's probably going to attack him first. Or if I crash. Excuse me. Where did this guy go? Hmm. Yeah, it had to be the uncommon because he would have turned around, I'm sure, when I shot that gun. I think he ran away instead. I think I heard something. Yep, he's in the woods there. See. Yep, I was right. It's the uncommon. I don't know who this Bill guy is, if that's Daddy, I don't know if that's the Bill from Canada I know or what. Sure if this is the good. It's going after Bill probably. Where's Bill? Hey, pretty boy. How you doing? Right in the spine. Hehehe. Should be dying soon. Wonder if you can zoom. Oh yeah, you can, but it doesn't zoom out the back. I know you see me. Come on. Should be dying. One hit should kill him. He'll be able to get him. He got unlimited stamina. Let's see. Yeah, he's got unlimited stamina. Got him. if I can get a picture without crashing. Horrible. Simply horrible. That's a nice. Oh, no. Crap. No. Okay, good. Darn, always the hills. Gotta ruin everything. Shoot. See if I can pick it up from back here. Crap. I lost it. Teh. Anyway, that was a little too long. Oh, you can use WSAD. I think I was trying to do that. Alright, anyway. I got 7 T-Rex, 2 hours. Not bad. Pretty good. Just goofing around. Well, I guess I'm going to call it. Nice seeing you guys and gals. You know, keep in touch. You know, say hi on Steam, Discord. If you want to play a game, another kind of game, let me know. But I'm going to call it here. I got to get some breakfast. I'm hungry. Anyway, don't forget to check out the links in the details section. There's some links to some gaming sites here. They usually have some sales on PC games and console games. If you buy something off of there, then they send a few cents, you know, my way, so, or whatever. They give me perks, which hopefully could flow over into the channel if there's enough traffic there. So, anyway, be safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.